Hello, so I'm going to finish up the section 7.2 notes today. So for part C and D here, we need to complete the square in order to get in standard form. Well, for C, since the y's are squared, I'm going to subtract 4x and subtract 2/11 from both sides. So then we get 3y squared minus 27y equals negative 4x minus 211/4. Next, I need to make sure that the leading coefficient of the squared term, so the 3, is a 1, so I'm going to divide by 3. Now, on the right-hand side, instead of dividing by 3, I'm going to multiply by 1/3, since there's a fraction over there. There we go. Next, you want to add 1/2 of b squared. So 1/2 times negative 9 squared, negative 9/2 squared, 81/4. So we're going to add 81/4. Now the left-hand side does factor into y minus 9/2 squared. And on the right-hand side, what can I do? The negative 2/11 and 81/4 actually combines quite nicely to positive 8/3. Now we're close to having it in standard form, but just like the coefficient on the y has to be a 1, the coefficient on the x has to be a 1. So we are going to factor out the negative 4/3. Now when you factor that out, that's the same as dividing by negative 4/3. So we get x minus 2. Now that's in standard form, I'm going to go find the vertex first, which is 2, 9/2. So it's the opposite of these two values, with the x value being next to the x and the y value being next to the y. And now this is a horizontal parabola that opens to the left because this is negative. Next, I'm going to find our p-value though, before I get there. So p is equal to negative 1/3, because remember, this is 4 times p. So divided by 4, you get negative 1/3. So I need to go to the left. So my vertex, or focus, and again, because we're going to the left, I need to add p to the x value. Two plus 1/3 will be 5/3, 9/2. And then to get the directrix, it's going to be a vertical line, so x equals, and then it's going to be the x value of the vertex minus the p-value. Get 7/3. That's it for part C. Now part D, it's the x values that are squared. So I'm going to subtract 12y and subtract 1 from both sides. Now I don't have to divide by the leading coefficient of the squared term because it's already a 1. So I'm going to go on 1/2 times negative 10 squared, or negative 5 squared, or 25. So adding 25 to both sides, we get x minus 5 squared equals negative 12y plus 24. And then again, the y needs a coefficient of 1, so I'm going to factor out a negative 12. So we get y minus 2. So our vertex is 5, 2. Our p-value is -3. Again, the reason why it's -3 is because this is 4 times p. So divided by 4, you get that. This is a vertical parabola that opens down. So to get the focus, it's going to have the same x value this time as our vertex, and we're going to add p to the y value. So we get 5, and -1 for the focus, and the directrix is going to be a horizontal line, so that'll be y equals 2 minus -3, or 5. That's it for part D. Now this is actually the one that we want to graph. So I'm actually going to steal this equation. Let's copy it. Bring it down here. Paste it. There we go. Don't need that green part anymore. And let's go ahead and graph it. So I know it has the focus, like we said, of 5, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. And then our focus, we said, was 5, -1, because it's 3 below the vertex. And then the 12, remember, gives us our focal diameter. So that means I need to go 6 to the left and 6 to the right. Well, I'm only going to get 6 to the left this time, because 6 to the right, I guess it would be about right there, right off the graph. So that's how we graph it. And that's it for these notes. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know.